Hello, welcome to Carlton Blue. My name is Dan Rowlands. I'm joined here this afternoon by John Townley. We've got our Europa Conference League layout logo on the StreamYard because it's Conference League time. The draw was done this afternoon. Started at 1 p.m, but it didn't really start till about 1:15. And even then, it was the most. I feel two ways about the draw. Like as it was all starting, I was like, "Oh, this is like really cool. The intro music's good. Like Villa, like back in this environment of being involved with the draw." And then it turned into the most boring, uncool explanation of like rules and technical procedure for drawing balls out of a hat. It was just one extreme to the other. Before we get into it, how are you? How's things?
Yeah, doing well, thank you.
Okay, great. That was quick. It was nice though, wasn't it, to be back in this kind of environment, like seeing all the desks laid out with the little placards of Aston Villa FC and all the different clubs involved. And it's been a while since we've been involved in anything like this. Obviously, 2010 was our last European venture, and I don't really remember watching the draw and things back then. To be honest, I don't even know if that was a thing.
I thought it was exciting the whole way through. Like genuinely, I thought it was all quite fun, apart from the rules and stuff. But it was quite a buzz. Like to be back in those settings, I got a bit of a buzz about it. There was obviously weeks and weeks of like, oh, Villa going to be seeded or unseeded, and it doesn't matter in the end. It was all a bit of a. I think we were all just a bit bored over the summer, so we were kind of concentrating on this particular draw. Here we go. We're back in Europe. Can't wait.
Back in Europe with the very Villa thing of possibly just going to Scotland, which I just love as well. So it's either Hibernian or FC Luzern. They've still got to play each other, and we'll run through like the dates of when that happens and when Villa's games are and all those things as well. A little bit of an explainer. We've actually just had a flick through before we started of who like the other notable clubs are playing, and there's a lot of ties actually where like the teams that you know, like Lille, Osasuna, people like that, they're also playing somebody that you've kind of heard of. I don't know, that's just me that feels like that. But for Villa to get Hibs, it was like, oh, Hibs, I heard of them. I know who they are. A lot of the ties, you just think, I don't know who those sides and where they come from. So for like Lille, Fiorentina, Osasuna, and the likes of those to be drawn against someone else that you recognise is...
I've just had a crazy
like
brain.
Draws.
I've got a pair of shorts there, FC Luzern. Do you want me to get them?
Yeah, go on then.
There you go.
Why do you have those?
I have no idea. They've been in my drawer for like years. I don't know. So there you go.
Have you been to Switzerland on holiday or anything?
No, never. I have no idea what I've got.
Out of the bizarreness of what that Europa Conference League draws, that is the most bizarre thing I've seen this afternoon. Have you got anything Hibs related, by the way, apart from John McGinn?
I don't collect anything that isn't Villa, apart from a pair of FC Luzern shorts. I don't know where that's come from, genuinely.
If anyone else has got any FC Luzern merch, let us know in the comments down below. It must only be you. So the way the draw was done, it was that there was 4 groups of teams that would only play each other in this godforsaken format. So it was going to be Villa versus one of 7 other teams. So I was doing the graphics this morning of like potential outcomes. I was going through the badges and like things that have been cropped up this afternoon. Like unbelievable. Like some of the logos and stuff look like they've been made on Pro Evo from 2005. Again, I don't mean it in a disrespectful way, but you're operating in such a different field than Villa are used to, having been in the Premier League, to now be looking at clubs in these tiny little stadiums in far-flung locations across Europe. That's the excitement of the Europa Conference League. And when we were talking last season about if Villa qualify for it and it being a lesser tournament than the Europa League and the Champions League, as we sit here today, as the draw has been done, none of that matters.
This is only a playoff round still. So,
of course,
I think Tottenham played Aruca, I think, Portugal, and then West Ham played Larnaca, I think, from Cyprus. So we're going to play over Hibernian or FC Luzern. So you're going to get much smaller teams compared to a Premier League club. I was just looking at where they're based and their stadium and things like that for FC Luzern. Obviously, we know about Hibs, Easter Road, Edinburgh. Yeah, they play at a stadium called Swissporarena. That's a bit of a mouthful. It holds about 16,000 as well. I think there's like a 5% capacity for Villa in away games, I think. Who would you rather be playing, Dan? Hibernian or FC Luzern?
I think we'll beat both. So from a footballing perspective, I don't really care which one it is, because if we're talking about Villa being one of the favourites of the tournament, keep caveating by saying, well, it's only a playoff round, let's just get through it. We will get through it. We'll beat either side. We'll beat any of the teams that were in this kind of, like I said, that group of 8, we'd have beat anyone. So I wasn't particularly bothered from a football aspect. I do think it's very Villa to be back in European football and to play potentially, let's say we did get knocked out, which I don't think we will, for our European journey to be Edinburgh would be quite funny. because it's no different, is it? It's still in the UK.
Yeah.
So from that perspective, from the away fans' perspective, I'm sure they'll love a trip to Switzerland and the Swissporarena or whatever it was. But it's going to be very difficult to get tickets when it's a 5% allocation of 16,000.
It's about 850 people. I mean, 850 away fans or so that will be. So I mean, which isn't bad. It could be worse than that. I think Switzerland's extremely. It's very expensive over there, though, isn't it? That you want to travel into Europe. And we will be doing plenty of that in the Conference League. So travelling Villa fans will definitely want to go into Switzerland. But if you want to save a bit of money, you probably want to be going to Scotland. So, plenty to weigh up. I think it's a direct flight to Zurich from Manchester as well, just doing some digging. And from Heathrow as well, might be direct. From Birmingham, you have to stop somewhere.
Have you got any preference on who we face?
Personally, I'd much rather... I mean, I presume I'm going to every game that we'd be playing. I'd much rather be going to Switzerland. There
is something nice about it being like the John McGinn derby, if it's Hibernian. For Villa to have signed John McGinn as one of our kind of favourite players from them for a couple of million. And they really like John McGinn as well, like their fans. We get comments all the time on our podcast from Hibernian fans when John McGinn plays well. He'll
obviously prefer to play Hibernian because that'll be the only time that he'll go back up there unless he finishes his career playing for Celtic or something, which is probably a possibility actually. For John McGinn, he'll be wanting Hibs. I think for most of our fans, we'll be wanting FC Luzern. Yeah, we'll see what it takes us, but we should be winning home and away. If it's any sort of crumb of comfort as well, the second leg will be at home. So if we do...
If anything goes wrong, like if it is Hibs and we lose the first game 1-0, we'll come back to Villa Park and we'll absolutely 100% definitely win then because we'd have to. So
now,
so as you think, if we play the first game first and only win 2-0, there's a chance you go to the away second and mess it up. But there's a chance, obviously, like you said, I'm going to look stupid, but I don't see why the Villa aren't progressing past this playoff round into the group stages. But stranger things have happened. Just a very quick explainer then on when things are happening. So Hibernian and FC Luzern play each other twice over a two-legged affair on August the 10th, so this Thursday, and August the 17th, next Thursday. So they'll play each other to decide the winner of who plays Aston Villa. The Aston Villa games are August the 24th and August 31st. So that's after the Everton game at home and before the Burnley game away, and then between the Burnley game and the Liverpool game. This is what Emery wants, though, isn't it? If you want to be playing and competing in more competitions, you play more games.
And I suppose for travelling as well, that's another factor. Switzerland isn't very far away at all, but if you want those sort of extra yards, I guess, on the pitch, then maybe Hibernian's a better game. To be honest, I think it's a very good draw either way. There's not much travel involved. Both teams aren't particularly good, or they're good enough to play in the competition, but Villa should beat them over two legs for sure. Yeah, the travelling isn't so bad, and it's the start of the European journey as well. So, I mean, going up to Scotland, although it's in August, it doesn't give you much of the exotic flavour that we were hoping for. Maybe a trip to like Portugal or something would have been like whet the appetite a bit more. Who knows? Yeah, looking forward to it either way. Like again, it's the start of something. So. Yeah, I was just buzzing to see us back in the draw. But the only thing I was annoyed about was they were picking it out like it was like Team 5 against Team 4. You didn't even get the Aston Villa on the little page, did you? Which was a bit like, I don't know, I got a bit deflated by that.
Like, I know what you're saying. In terms of like speeding up the draw process, because these things are so long-winded, to just go that every team that's number 5 plays every team that's number 8, and it's like 3 games have been drawn in one go. Speeds it up a little bit, but you are right not to have that moment of like ball number 6. Villa. It's like I didn't know which number Villa had, so it was just like number whoever, and then it's like Villa playing Hibs. Like, oh, okay, that was anticlimactic after all that.
Yeah, and if we get into the group stage, which hopefully we do, that'll be more of
holding out the proper names,
more of an event. Yeah, and you obviously get picked out against 3 of the teams as well. I think we'll probably be in pot 2, so we're going to be playing against what should be a decent team for pot 1. So yeah, we'll see what that brings as well. I'm already looking forward to the next draw.
Like we said, there's a couple of teams where you recognise like the bigger sides playing potential other sides that you're aware of. Fenerbahce, if they get through theirs, possibly play FC 20 if they get through theirs. Rapid Vienna, one that we wanted to avoid, are probably going to be playing Fiorentina. Osasuna play Club Bruges. So there's like I said at the start, there's a few teams there that are not like 2 big sides play each other, but it's like I recognise both of them, so one of them won't make it.
Yeah, exactly that. A few of the noticeable teams, or at least one of them will probably drop out again, which is again a positive because Villa will come. I keep saying it. that Villa are favourites for this competition. We'll see which Europa League clubs come down in the knockout rounds, but at the same time, there will be a quarter-final if we make it that far, or even a semi-final, where Villa will find it tough away against FC 20 or Fenerbahce or something. Those games will happen. So I think if you can take some of them out as early as possible, then great, because you want as clear as path to the final as possible, because anything can happen in a final. Sure. West Ham's run last year was, I don't want to say easy, but if we could have that, I'd snap your hand off for it. Like, I think they had Steaua Bucharest, Larnaca, who they played in the playoffs. Obviously, Fiorentina in the final. He finished 8th in Serie A last season. They played AZ Alkmaar, who in the semis, I think, who gave them probably their biggest test, and that's AZ Alkmaar. So I don't think we'll have as easy a run as what West Ham had, which means that it might get tough at some points. So I think let's see how it goes. Not get ahead of ourselves particularly. Yeah, Hibernian lose them first. Let's just concentrate on those games, get those done, and then we'll see what the group stage gives us.
Exactly that. That's what I was going to say. As much as we are excited about the whole thing and looking forward to the next draw already, let's get through this two-legged thing first, because like I said, strange things do happen sometimes. But I think Villa will progress.
Jake Doyle-Hayes as well. Obviously, Villa fans will know him. He plays for Hibs. I interviewed him a couple of years ago at Cheltenham. Really nice guy. Harry McCurdy as well. Hold on, what's going on? Two big narratives there. Yeah. That's good for them as well. Maybe playing it in the park.
Come Thursday when FC Luzern play Hibernian, are you going to be wearing your FC Luzern shorts?
I can't believe that, genuinely.
No, I can't.
What am I doing with my Luzern shirts? Incredible. I don't know what that is.
I'd love if you could find out. Like if you could backtrack where they were purchased, or where if you're on holiday, or if it's a random eBay thing or whatever.
That might be it. It might have been on holiday, and don't know. They're not knockoffs or anything. They're
well, fair enough.
I can't believe I didn't think of that when we got drawn out against them. It was only during the podcast then that I thought, hold on, I've got merch.
Let's call it a day there then. Just a very quick reaction episode to Villa's draw in the Conference League. Upcoming is our season preview, which will be this week, hopefully out this Wednesday, the 9th of August. And then we'll be building up to Newcastle with Unai Emery's press conference. Not sure whether that's Thursday or Friday yet, but whichever day it is the day we'll be doing the show. And post-match Saturday evening as well, where hopefully it'll be a good start to the season for Villa. Thanks everyone for watching. I'm going to go before that dog next door goes mental. Hopefully you can't hear that. Thank you very much for watching. We'll see you on Wednesday.